If you can't stop thinking, even when you try, this isn't because you're too smart. It's not because you lack discipline. And it's not because you're broken. It's because your brain is using thinking as safety. Your mind is not running because it loves drama. It's running because it thinks something is unsafe, unfinished, or uncertain. So it scans. It rehearses. It predicts. It replays. And the more you try to force it to stop, the louder it gets. Because when you say, stop thinking, your brain hears. Danger, we're unprepared. So it speeds up. If your mind won't stop daily, comment Emmy. No shame. This is a pattern, not a personality. Today, I'll show you the real reason your brain won't shut up. The loop that keeps it running, and the system to slow it down without fighting yourself. Because you don't win by wrestling thoughts. You win by changing the conditions that create them. Part 1, why trying to stop doesn't work. Let's define the truth. Most people think the solution is, stop thinking. That's the wrong goal. You can't stop thinking by force, because thinking isn't the problem. Thinking is the tool your brain uses to reduce uncertainty. So when you try to shut it down, your brain doesn't calm down. It panics. It says, if we stop scanning, we might miss something. If we stop analyzing, we might mess up. If we stop rehearsing, we might get hurt. This is why quiet feels uncomfortable for anxious people. Quiet feels like vulnerability. So the question isn't, how do I stop thinking? The question is, what is my brain trying to protect me from? Because your brain is not trying to ruin your life. It's trying to keep you safe. But safety can become a prison when the brain mistakes uncertainty for danger. And that's what's happening. Story 1. I tell myself to relax, but I can't. You've probably felt this. You sit down, you want to relax. You tell yourself, okay, just breathe, just calm down. And your mind responds like a rebellious child. What about that thing you forgot? What about that conversation? What about your future? What if you're wasting your life? What if you regret everything? And you get frustrated because you want peace? But wanting peace isn't enough if your nervous system is still on alert. So let's break down the real reasons your brain won't stop. There are 3 main causes. Part 2, the 3 reasons you can't stop thinking. Reason has shown. Your nervous system is on alert. The first reason is the body. Your nervous system is on guard. So your mind becomes a radar. And radar doesn't relax. Radar scans. It scans for rejection, mistakes, conflict, money problems, being behind, uncertainty. So even if your environment is calm, your internal system is not. Signs you're in alert mode. Shallow breathing, tight chest, tense jaw, restless legs, irritability, difficulty sleeping, feeling wired but tired. When your body is in threat mode, your mind will not be quiet. Because your mind is trying to solve the danger. The danger might be real, or it might be imagined. Your nervous system doesn't care. It just wants certainty. So it uses thinking. That's why calming the body is not optional. It's step 1. Reason #2. Open loops, unfinished things. The second reason is open loops. Unfinished tasks, unanswered messages, unmade decisions, unspoken conversations, deadlines you keep delaying. Your brain keeps these tabs open because it's afraid you'll forget. So it reminds you over and over. That reminder feels like mental noise. And people think, why am I so anxious? Sometimes it's not anxiety, it's memory management. Your brain is trying to prevent future pain by keeping the task alive. But here's the problem. Modern life creates too many open loops. And your brain wasn't designed for 30 tabs. So it becomes loud. The fix is not think less. The fix is close loops or capture them. Because when the brain trusts you won't forget, it stops screaming. Reason #3. Too much input, you never stop feeding it. The third reason is input overload. You never stop feeding your mind. News, reels, drama, advice, notifications, podcasts, chats. You call it relaxing, but it's still stimulation. A brain that never rests, never shuts up. Because every new input creates new comparisons, new worries, new ideas, new things you should do. Even helpful content creates mental noise. You watch a video about productivity, now you feel behind. You watch a video about relationships, now you replay your relationship. You watch a video about health, now you worry about your body. Your brain becomes a crowded room. And in a crowded room, it's hard to hear silence. So if you want a quieter mind, you must reduce input. Not forever, just enough to recover. Part 3, the can't stop thinking loop. Now let's expose the loop. This is the cycle. Trigger, fear, story. Thinking binge. Temporary relief. Repeat. Trigger. Something uncertain happens. Fear story. Your brain says danger. Thinking binge. Replay, research, check, rehearse. Relief. Anxiety drops a little. Repeat. The brain learns that thinking equals safety. That relief is the reward. And that's why you can't stop. Because you're not dealing with logic. You're dealing with reinforcement. You're training your brain every time you binge think. So to stop, you don't just calm down. You interrupt the reward. And then you replace the binge with a safer behavior. That's the system. Story 2, the night spiral. Here's the most common version. You lie down, you want sleep. Then one thought shows up. Did I mess something up? And your brain opens 20 tabs. Replay the conversation. Rewrite what you should have said. Predict what they think. Plan what you'll do tomorrow. Regret what you did 5 years ago. Panic about your future. Then you reach for your phone for relief. Because stimulation numbs uncertainty. And suddenly it's 2 a.m. Next day you wake up tired. A tired brain is weaker. So you spiral more easily. And the loop gets stronger. That's why this isn't just thinking. It's a system. And systems can be changed. Part 4. The stop thinking system. Do this today. Now the fix. Not a perfect lifestyle. Not move to a mountain. A simple system you can do today. Step 1. Name it. When the noise starts, say, this is a loop. Not I'm broken. Not I'm crazy. Just loop. Labeling creates distance. You stop being inside the storm. You become the observer. And the observer can choose the next move. Step 2. Physiology first. Inhale normally. Exhale longer. In for 2, out for 4. Do it twice. Long exhale tells the nervous system, safe. Your body can't stay in high alert if you breathe like that. This is why trying to think calm fails. Calm is not a thought. It's a body state. Step 3. Close one loop. Your brain is loud because it's afraid you'll forget. So give it proof you won't. Take a note and write. The one thing my brain keeps repeating is, then write. The next tiny step is not the full plan. The next step, example, reply to message, send one-line reply, work task, open file plus write first paragraph. Decision, pick one option to test tomorrow. When your brain sees a next step, it relaxes because uncertainty drops. Step 4, input curfew. If your mind is loud at night, you must stop feeding it at night. No scrolling 30 minutes before sleep. Not because scrolling is evil, because it creates new loops. New inputs create new thoughts. So you replace input with recovery. Shower, stretch, quiet music, reading a few pages, breathing. Silence is not punishment. Silence is digestion. Step 5, 1 trust signal daily. This one is long-term. Your mind won't shut up when it doesn't trust you to follow through. So every day, do one small promise you keep. 10 minutes of work, 1 paragraph, 1 small task. The brain gets quieter when it trusts. We handle things. Because a lot of mental noise is your brain yelling, don't forget, you always delay. So you prove, I don't always delay. Small evidence, daily. That's how you quiet the mind permanently. Story 3, what it feels like when it starts working. When people do this for a week, they say the same thing. My mind still thinks, but it doesn't scream. I can fall asleep faster. I feel less tense. I'm less reactive. Their problems didn't disappear. Their system changed. That's what you want. A mind that can be quiet even with uncertainty. Part 5, common mistakes. 3 mistakes that keep you stuck. Mistake Hasson, forcing silence. Silence is not forced. Silence is allowed. You create conditions where silence is safe. Mistake #2, using rest that is actually input. Scrolling is not rest, it's stimulation. Mistake #3, waiting for calm before acting. Calm often comes after small action, not before. Part 6, 7-day challenge. Here's your 7-day challenge. For 7 days, when the mind gets loud, name it loop. Do the 10-second long exhale reset. Close one loop daily. Write it plus next step. 30-minute input curfew before sleep. Then ask, is your mind still screaming, or is it finally breathing? Because that's the shift. From screaming to breathing, you can't stop thinking by fighting thoughts. You stop it by changing the conditions that create the noise. Close one loop, calm the body, reduce input, build self-trust. That's how you quiet your brain. If you want the next video, how to stop nighttime spirals, comment next. And if this hit you hard, share it with a friend whose mind never shuts up and thinks it's just how they are.